It's the Rangers Journal night.
Yes, hello everyone, a very warm welcome to the Rangers Journal, sponsored by Off to the Match I Go. Visit offtothematchigo.co.uk and you can get 10% off all products with the promo code Journal10. And we're getting a nice little tour of Billy's living room there. How you doing, big man?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. Just as I was saying to you beforehand, my laptop will not turn on, so I've just chucked on my phone. Apologies if the sound isn't as good as normal.
Do you know what? Your radiant smile is there, so don't you worry, big man. Don't you worry. Good to have you on, Billy. And Jock, how you doing, mate? You looking well?
Thanks, mate. Not too bad.
Good man, good man. Right, what's the penultimate game of the league season tonight? It's the final game at Ibrox this evening against Dundee United, who are looking to chase fourth place. The team sheet has come out, so let's have a little look at it. So obviously, there's not too much different there. Billy, any key players you want to pick out there that you think are going to make a difference tonight? We've got Igamani starting.
Well, Eggman starting for me is the main thing. I've been kind of calling out for it since Barry was there, really, when he decided that he maybe wanted the two up front. I just hope he's not papped out on the left, and I hope he is playing as a more normal centre forward. I mean, let's face it, it doesn't matter anymore. Not only is it the end of the season, when the season's done, the manager's not going to be here next season either. So we're not going to find out much tonight about next season's squad. But Eggman for me is one of the main people that we should be building the squad round. And for me, he should have been starting, the last 6 months.
Oh, I totally agree. And especially in a more central position. He was quite central at the weekend there, and he bears fruit. So we have to do it. Yeah, no, fair points there, Billy. Jock, anybody you want to pick out there? Any subs that you might think might make a bit of a difference coming on later on?
Like the big standout there's Butland, isn't it? Butland's in it, so that could be a farewell tour. I've been reading too much into it, thinking that's last game at Ibrox. Just interesting that it's tonight, as he's thrown in there after losing the number one spot. In terms of the bench, I mean, are we going to see Cortez? Any more Cortez? I'd imagine we'll probably see a bit of Bailey Rice, and I think we might see Danilo, maybe Casemiro as well, just to sort of get minutes in the legs. Obviously after his injury as well, and then I'd say Tom Lawrence will probably get a farewell jolly as well.
Yeah, it definitely has a bit of a kind of farewell feeling around tonight's game, because there will be a large proportion of the players in that squad tonight that will not be here for next season. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'll probably get some little hints later on. But yeah, Big Jack Butland back between the sticks is definitely an interesting one. I don't know. I would say maybe he's trying to rest Kelly up a little bit, but we haven't been playing twice a week really until this week. So yeah, it definitely can't be that. So definitely an interesting team sheet. Personally, I hope we can see a little bit more of Danilo. He's our £6 million man. Again, Cortez, 4.5 million. It's a difficult one, but clearly there's something there that Barry's seen in training that we are not. So that is the team sheet. It's looking like a fairly strong side as can be. But let's have a look at the last 10 meetings between Rangers and Dundee United. So we've had 7 wins. Dundee United have had 1. We've scored 15 goals. Dundee United have scored 5. We've had 5 clean sheets, and Dundee United have had 1. So, Billy, I'm going to come to you with this one, mate. Obviously, we had a first clean sheet Sunday under Barry. It's probably our first one under Barry, I think, completely, isn't it? Do you think we can keep another clean sheet tonight and do a bit of give Jack Butland a little bit of confidence?
Yeah, but mainly because probably the opposition are already on their holidays more than anything else. Nobody's really got anything to be playing for anymore, which, sometimes the split can work, and these games are important, but unfortunately I don't think it really is now at this point. So yeah, there's definitely a good chance of it. We shouldn't be shipping the goals that we have been. We should be better than the teams we're coming up against, and to go 2 goals down so often in the recent past is really, it's humiliating and it's an embarrassment, and it needs to come to an end at some point. So I'm hoping tonight, mate. Yeah, but it's maybe more to do with where we are situationally rather than the anything else.
Yeah, no, I do agree there, Billy. Jock, Jim Goodwin will probably be looking for a good win tonight. That's a terrible one, I know, but I've been saving that one. Do you think that they'll be a little bit more open tonight, Dundee United? They're looking to finish fourth, trying to clinch that European spot. Third is just out of reach for them because of the goal difference. Do you think they'll be a little bit more open tonight?
I think so, because it's just as you say, you're talking about goal difference. I'm actually looking at the split table there, and they're only 3 points behind Aberdeen. And Aberdeen obviously play them. So this ideally is an opportunity, because they could put 5 past Aberdeen, no problem, because it's something they always seem to do quite frequently. So I do think Dundee United are going to come here with the tail up and probably think they can get something. As you say, as Billy said, we're shipping goals. And multiple goals quite frequently now, so it's I'd imagine this could be a tasty game.
It could indeed. I don't think many teams kind of set up against us to have the kind of low block at the minute, especially at Ibrox. I think they all know that we're there for the taking a little bit. But saying that, on the flip side, Dundee United at home on Saturday lost 2-0 to St Mirren. St Mirren went with a kind of 5-3-2. They kind of really soaked up all the pressure, and they were able to attack them. So obviously that really scuppered their chances. They've not had the best of form in their past recent games. They have got a few defeats in there. So Billy, you expected anything from Dundee United tonight? Obviously, we got Middleton in that team, formerly of this parish. Got some troublesome players in Sibbald, Trapanovsky. Do you see anything from them tonight, do you think?
They certainly could, but that's again just basically down to how bad we've been defending, and it's really a defence should be the best, well, one of the best we could put out there. But you've got, I mean, Goodwin would love to get one over of us, wouldn't he? So you've always got that motivation, and you've also got ex-players coming back. They always want to make an impression. But I go back to where we are in the season. I didn't realise, Jock, that they actually still had something to play for. I thought that everything was all settled now, but you're quite right. They maybe actually will come out and give us a game. I certainly don't think they'll be playing the like let's play 11 behind the ball type thing. I think you as you said, Andrew, you're going to come out and bring the game to us, because it's worked for several teams recently.
Yeah, no, do agree. Jock, Sam Dalby, a man that's name's been mentioned quite frequently this season, sitting as the fourth highest top goal scorer in the Scottish Premiership on 14 goals. He's only 2 goals off of Maeda. Do you think he'll cause us problems tonight? And is he somebody that we should be looking at possibly come the summer?
Probably. It just depends what sort of Rangers team turn up and what kind of form they turn up, because then anybody seems to cause us problems if not everybody's on it. And it's especially at Ibrox, if folk are causing problems early on, it's not a nice place to try and turn around, is it? In terms of looking at them, probably. I mean, I think we do need to sort of bolster the squad with squad players from our other teams around the league. I've been saying that for probably 2 or 3 years now. It's something we've missed. It's something that harping on with something Walter Smith did. He always went and try and increase the squad capability of dealing with other teams in the league with players that can play at that level or tried and tested and works. So yeah, I think it's another bit of homegrown quota would probably get a boost from that as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's something that obviously we saw from Walter Smith quite a lot, building a team with a little bit of a Scottish core. It's something that other teams are looking to do now as well. And I think it's important when it comes to European football, especially with the numbers that you do need to have. So yeah, no, hopefully, he could be somebody we'd look at, but there will of course be that added tax being Rangers. So we'd have to see about that. So let's have a look at some stats. So Rangers have only lost their final home game of the season in one of the past 16 seasons. So we've won 10, drawn 5. And the last one was a 2-1 defeat to Aberdeen in 2016-2017. Of course, it would be Aberdeen. Dundee United, this season, they've won 7 away league games. That's the most they've actually won in a top flight campaign since 2012-2013, where it was also 7. So they are a little bit better away from home than usual. And we are unbeaten in our last 27 Scottish Premiership Championship games against newly promoted sides. That probably goes out the window with our vein of form at the minute. But yeah, so some interesting stats there. For anybody that's just joining us, of course, this is the Rangers Journal's pre-match pod. If you haven't seen the team sheet, Jack Butland is kind of the little bit of breaking news. He's back between the sticks for the penultimate league game of the season. I'll just read the team out again for anybody that is just joining us. James Tavernier, John Suter, Leon Balogun and Hefty in the back four. Baron, Diamande, Raskin, Cherny and Egerman and Dessers. So Billy, just to come to you on this one. Obviously, we're looking there. You've seen Connor Barron is back in the side. Do you think he could be a big player for us going into next season? Because he had a big spell of barely featuring, and then all of a sudden seems to be a little bit of that steal between the defence and the midfield.
Yeah, and I was one of his biggest fans at the beginning of the season, and I thought he would maybe go on to have maybe that kind of Raskin level season actually. Then and he kind of tailed off a little bit, but he's certainly shown in recent weeks that he's someone we can, again, the homegrown thing and the quota, that's one of these players we want to keep people like him because he can do a job, especially against the SPFL teams, and that's selling him short because I think he also did pretty well in European competition. It certainly didn't embarrass himself at that level. So, and I don't know if it's just been some of the manager interviews we've been doing that he's been mentioned a couple of times as a type of player that foreign coaches would actually quite like to have in the team. So yeah, certainly, I'm not saying he's the person you build the team around, but he's somebody we need to have in and around that first team starting 11 for next season, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think he could be a very pivotal player for us, but it just depends. It's going to be a massive summer, isn't it? So we'll just have to see what happens with the new owners. One rumour that has come out actually today about the prospective new owners is allegedly they'd love to sign Václav Cherny from Wolfsburg. So you never know, something could be going on in the background against that. Obviously, comments from Barry Ferguson. It's been some interesting comments coming out from Barry Ferguson this week, but he has been saying in the pre-match presser for this that Rangers are not a project club, which obviously is just hammering home to the kind of new owners. Jock, with Barry Ferguson, do you think he kind of knows that's it now for him? He seemed to be cracking a little bit under some pressure after the Aberdeen game, which was a bit of a strange one. We've not really seen him like this. He's normally quite good and calm and calculated in press conferences, but he just seemed to be a little bit rattled by a few of the questions he was being asked. Do you think it's because he knows the gig maybe isn't his, or do you think the reporters were just getting on his nerves with the repetitive questioning? Because it seemed a bit strange from him.
Yeah, it's a strange one because I suppose we haven't really seen Ferguson in a managerial sense in that position before, and I don't imagine he would have been in that position in his previous managerial career with Blackpool or Alloa and Clyde, wasn't it? Aye. So to me, maybe he's had conversations. He's bound to be kept in the loop because I know he was beating the drum up until sort of middle of last week, really, about being interested in what he can do and what he can bring to the club. And I think, like any journalist here in the media, we all know that the sort of quality of questioning is just the same sort of drivel served up in a different way to try and catch the person out, isn't it? And we've seen that over the years. It's just to try to get a headline, really, a clickbait link for their websites. It's not the sort of standard that we see down south in England or elsewhere. But yeah, maybe he did crack under the pressure. Maybe frustration. Maybe obviously the way the game went and his game plan and stuff. I think he's probably still reeling from that because obviously he had a game plan and we clearly didn't follow it the first half, and then it took the second half to sort of. And then obviously had his late goal to even rescue the point. So I think we can afford to maybe cut him just a wee bit of slack because he's in a position where this is his dream job, and obviously everything's coming out in the press now. He's not going to get it. So maybe he's just going through the motions a wee bit.
Yeah, no, definitely possible. Definitely possible. Staying on the subject of Ferguson, obviously he seems to have quite high standards. He still wasn't happy fully at the end of the game, obviously due to the first half performance. I think personally, if he is to go further in football, I think he needs to find a little bit of a balance. But Billy, some comments that he did say. I've not been perfect. I get that. I understand that. But I think I've done okay. I can do better. But if you give me the tools to go and do that, I'd know I'd be a success. Could Barry Ferguson be a successful Rangers manager if he was to be appointed this summer?
Look, can I take a step back, Andrew, and go back to he came in as interim manager, and I don't think there was any way, especially now that we know that takeover talks have been going on since October time. I don't think there was any circumstance, bar winning the Europa League, maybe, and even that's a big maybe, that Barry was ever going to be getting the manager's job full time. I think he knew it. And I want to be fair to him as well. Obviously, you still back yourself and go, well, if I do well, there's maybe a chance. There wasn't really ever a chance, in my opinion. And I think he should have shut this stuff down right back at the beginning. And from the word go, no, I'm here for 6 months. That's it. I'm stepping up to help the club when they're in need. And, you know, if at some point in the future I come back and be the manager, that's great. Because he doesn't have the CV, you know, and he doesn't have, other than a couple of nice wins in the last, you know, beating Mourinho and beating Brendan Rodgers, that looks good. But to be honest, I think Jock actually posted a thing in our chat where his actual record as Rangers manager is awful. He should be in 12th position in the league, and you give him the tools. You know, it's if. Then never mind. I thought of a rude analogy I could have used. I'm not going to say it, but let's just say that it's all ifs and buts. No, I don't think he. I think you can see it the way he's kind of his emotions have got the better of him in the last couple of weeks, that he knows he's not getting the job. I'm pretty sure he's been told he's not getting the job, and I'm pretty sure he probably knows who it is that's getting it based on his comments yesterday of it's not a project type team. But I guess to answer your question, no, I don't think he would be a success, purely because we're still going to be in that. It's not going to be a finish. You know, the summer ends. It's not going to be the end product of the team. It's still going to be a team that needs a lot of management, and it I don't think he's got the experience yet. He may do, and he may go on to come back and be a Rangers manager, and this time will have served him well. But he needs to go out and prove himself a bit more. And that's not to say that I don't know that he's not done well in parts. I think he's a good man, motivator with certain players, but there's certainly been elements of he's playing his favourites rather than maybe playing the type of the team that he needs to be in. And sometimes he makes these changes and all of a sudden it clicks, and you're like, Barry, that's the team I would have started with. So I don't think so many. I think he's backing himself, and there's no harm in that, but I think he should have played it differently. And he mentioned something about being, because he was Scottish, he's not getting the kind of rub in the press, and I feel that's the exact opposite of what's actually happened. I feel that the fans especially have been behind him because of who he is, and he'll again always be a Rangers legend because of what he did for the team, and maybe one day he'll come back. I just felt he's played the whole 6 months here wrong, that it was never really his job to be getting anyway.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially with those comments, because we've seen it in the past where you do have foreign managers that don't quite get it, and people are treated differently. And Barry has been given some leeway by the fans. That is 100%. I agree with you there, Billy. It was interesting because when he did initially join, and we saw his first few press conferences, we're quite enjoying his press conferences, and he says, "Look, I'm only here as the interim," and he was quite adamant about that. And things have just seemed to have changed in recent weeks. So I don't know if he thought maybe there was a chance, maybe somebody said something. I don't know, but definitely, you're definitely seeing some change to Barry. Maybe that's just management at Rangers for you, but. Jock, to go off of the manager a little bit now, Leon Balogun, he was talking about hoping to extend his stay at Ibrox. Now, obviously, he's going to be out of contract with several other players in the summer. Do you keep him for another season, or do you just sever all ties and thank him for his business?
No, I think I keep him for another year. He's just a warrior, isn't he? He puts his body on the line for everything, and to be back playing so quickly wearing that mask just shows you how much he thinks of the club, and how much he's willing to put his body on the line for the club, and that's something that we need. We need an older head in that back line, and for the folk around him as well. He talks well. He's a good ambassador for the club. He promotes the club, and he's an all-round good guy. Even if he doesn't stay on as a as a player. I'd like to even if he stays on as a coaching capacity, or maybe the club help him go through badges and stuff. If that was the case, I'd like to see him stay, because he wears his heart on his sleeve and he gives you everything when he's on that pitch. And he's been probably our best defender probably this last maybe 4 weeks, barring the injury. So definitely have no issue if the club is going to keep him on for another year.
Yeah. Billy, would you keep him for another season? Do you think it's worthwhile?
He's just cool, isn't he? Am I missing? Am I saying something wrong? I just I love hearing them talk. I mean, he's broken his cheekbone 50,000 times as well. So there's that. I wouldn't be keeping him around for being a main starting centre half, but he's certainly able to come in and put a really good shift in. And I'm at that age where age is just a number as well. I start saying that out loud because you don't want to feel like you're old, but I think I might be the same age as him. So that's I'm going to back him and say, yeah, keep him around. He's not an expensive, he's not an expensive person to keep around, and you're going to need someone to take over the kind of leadership role and guide some of these new signings around as well.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I do like him, and he's one of these. He was speaking in the week about how he's never really had a club that he specifically followed. He got into football quite early, and he's found that club now, and that kind of brings a little tear to your eye a little bit that he's found his home a little bit, maybe just a few years too late. But hopefully this won't be his final game of his Rangers career. Hopefully we can keep him on in a capacity next season. I'll just go through the Dundee United team that has come out. So Richards in goal, Strain, Clello, Harding, Gallagher, Ferry, Savelge, Campbell, Doherty, Middleton, Dalby, and Fotheringham. Substitutes Walton, Trapanovsky, Malt, Babunski, Van der Sande, and Payton. So they do have players to turn to on the bench. Before we leave the pre-match build-up, Billy, I'm going to ask you for a prediction. What are you feeling tonight at Ibrox? A sun-soaked Ibrox.
Yeah, I'm feeling like it's probably going to be a very similar game to the weekend. A slow, in fact, that was probably the worst half of football I've ever experienced on Sunday there. That was awful. And then a really good second half. So I'm thinking we're going to get something like that. And I'm going to push the boat out and say Egeman gets at least 2 this evening.
Oh, 2 for Egeman. Well, he does seem to be. He did score a screamer on Sunday, so that'll probably.
What a goal that was! Come on.
The way he hits it up, he just knows what he's doing with it as well. The confidence right there. But it is amazing when you play more centrally what he can do. I think we waste him a little bit out on the left. Yeah, he can get past a man, but there's nobody that's really, he's feeding. I think Dessers works a little bit differently. So, yeah, no, totally agree. Jock, what's your prediction for tonight? Do you see it being a high-scoring game?
I think there will be goals. I think I'm going to go. I'll go 3-1. I think Dessers will score.
That's my prediction. Yep.
Dessers will score. Hopefully, Egeman score. And Tav's going to get a penalty.
Oh, Rangers getting a penalty. I haven't had that in a long time, eh?
I think it's their last home game of the season. They might get a courtesy one. You never know.
Rangers, the Rangers Twitter admin might have to dust off that. If they can find that file anymore, it's probably buried in among other things. But do you know what? I'm going 3-1 as well. I think we're going to go a goal down. I think it's going to make it a bit nervy. Second half, we're going to have the hair dryer, and I think we're going to come out and win 3-1. So, yeah, who knows? Though, with this Rangers team, you could never put your money on it at the minute. But before we go, don't forget, we have a giveaway. So there's either a free home top or signed Willie Johnson Collinstein picture. So head over to our socials at the Rangers Journal on Twitter. I'll also see the post on the community page for details to enter. So do get liking, get subscribing, and do have a look there for information. So as we say, every night is a Rangers Journal night. The guys will be back after the game with the post-match. So enjoy the game, and hopefully we win. So thank you, Billy. Thank you, Jock.
Cheers.
On the Rangers.